Hi, I'm Jim with Pour the Juice, and in this video, I'm going to be going over the only 5 whiskeys I need in my collection. These videos have been done a few times before. I figured I'd do my own take on it. And essentially what it is I pick 5 categories and 5 whiskeys that meet those categories for essentially what I would need for the rest of my life. And so I've broken each category up. I'll go over them right now with you. I have a mixer, or the mixer, the everyday, the sharer, the sipper, and the special occasion. And when I get into each of those categories, I'll let you know exactly what those mean, but you probably guess. Each of those categories I actually added 3 bottles into, just to give a little kind of explanation of why I would choose any of these bottles per category, and give you a little line into my thinking process. But to start out, I'm going to go with the mixer first. And the mixer to me is going to be a bottle that I'm going to choose to mix with other spirits. If it's a party, if I'm just not feeling like having a straight whiskey neat that night, I'm going to go with a mixer. And, it's probably going to be a bottle that isn't too expensive, isn't one that I generally care about, but could be good in whatever mixing I would need it for. I also wanted to put out there, I am going to put a tater in each one of these categories. Pretty much each of them. One of them doesn't have a tater, but all of them, other than that one, have at least one. And so in the mixer category, I'm going to add Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace, I think, is a fantastic mixer. It's probably what it should be used for. It's good, neat. It stacks up well in blinds next to other whiskeys in its price category. But at the end of the day, it's a $25, $27 bottle. And, probably be my prime bottle used for mixing, even though it is quite tasty on its own. The next 2 that I'm going to add for mixer category are basically going to be the same, it's going to be the same reason why I'm using them. And it's because I'm not really that big of a fan. And this is going to be for pretty much any Whistle Pig or Smoke Wagon that I have. I do have a private barrel Smoke Wagon that's pretty good, but the Uncut's going to be a higher proof. This Whistle Pig is a lower proof rye. I will use either of these for mixing just because I'm probably not going to reach for them neat. I'm probably not going to reach for them as an everyday whiskey. If I have choices of other whiskey, it's just not going to happen. So if I ever want to use these, it's going to have to be in a blind and using them for a video or in a mixed drink. So that's going to be my choices. My other 2 choices for the category of the mixer. It's going to be something high proof that I generally won't reach for, or something low proof that I generally won't reach for. And in this case, Smoke Wagon, Whistle Pig. But that can also go for other bottles as well. All right, now I'm on to the everyday. This is going to be the complete opposite of that. This is going to be a whiskey that I would choose to drink neat any day, every day. Something that I just find thoroughly enjoyable. These are generally not going to be higher proof options for me, not too high, and they're not going to be low either. I'll never reach for a 90 proofer as my everyday. Reaching for 130 proof is probably pushing it a little bit. But I'll start with my tater first. One of my taters, because there's 2 in this one. It's going to be an E.H. Taylor Small Batch. I love E.H. Taylor Small Batch. It's one of my favorite bottles on the market. I've been lucky enough to grab a couple of them recently for SRP, which I love. It makes me so happy. Kind of counteracts my video that I did on Eagle Rare not being able to come to market and all that stuff. But my area has been seeing a ton of E.H. Taylor, and I've seen it in other areas too. If I'm reaching for something on a daily basis, this is most likely what I'm reaching for. 100 proof point is excellent as well. Next on my list for the everyday is going to be Weller 107. This is if I had a choice for reaching for this everyday, I would choose this. I don't see Weller at all. This is the only bottle of 107 I have, and I'm cherishing it. But the profile of Weller 107 is exactly what I would look for in an everyday drinker. It should be an everyday drinker for the price point. Yeah, beautiful bottle, beautiful whiskey. This would be a choice there too. And then my last choice for the everyday is going to be 1792 proof full or 1792 full proof store picks. This can generally go for any store pick as well. I really enjoy reaching for store picks on a more casual basis. I tend to enjoy them more than just the average run-of-the-mill bottle. I enjoy comparing store picks and just seeing what's out there, and really, you can get some unusual flavor profiles that way. But this one specifically, this is the Banach Whiskey 1792 Full Proof, and it's the best 1792 Full Proof I've ever tasted. So that's why this is here as my choice for my everyday. My next option is going to be the Sharer. And, this category, the Sharer, it's meant for sharing whiskey. And, that's sharing whiskey with friends, that's sharing whiskey with other whiskey drinkers. It's going to be my choice that I would bring out if somebody has some experience with whiskey and I either want to give them an experience with something they maybe may not have had before, or that I think I love and I think they would enjoy as well. My tater for this pick is going to be Stag Junior or Stag, just because it's a very difficult to find bottle. It's one of my absolute favorites of all time. I love Stag Junior, and I think if you're an experienced whiskey drinker, my guess is you'd probably enjoy this if you like the higher proof stuff. On the other side of that is going to be Booker's. This isn't just like the little book, Infinite Booker's. This is just to represent any Booker's. I enjoy Booker's. I enjoy the flavor profile of the peanuts. I also think it's a great way for, kind of novice whiskey drinkers to kind of pick up a flavor profile. Any, Jim Beam product can really do that. This is, the first time I picked up peanut was on Old Granddad. But I do think any Jim Beam Booker's product can help get somebody there. And I think if you can help somebody along with their whiskey journey, I think that is absolutely a great choice for a Sharer whiskey. So this is going to be in there. And then my last one for the Sharer is going to be New Riff 8-Year, which I love. This New Riff 8-Year, I love New Riff in general. This is kind of just a place marker for any New Riff product, and pretty much any distillery that I love that isn't entirely mainstream. Sorry, I just hit the mic. I probably made a noise with that. That isn't entirely mainstream. So, yeah, my choice today is New Riff just because this 8-Year is amazing. And yeah, this is going to be my Sharer group. Let's move on to my next group, which is going to be the Sipper. And the Sipper is along the same lines as the everyday drinker, except it's going to be for an elevated experience for me. It's going to be kind of flavor profiles that I really enjoy, and that, is going to give me that more than casual experience enjoying my whiskey. And I don't have a tater in this category. If I did, it would probably be Stag or E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. I don't have one of those. But I also don't want this to be whiskeys that you can't find. So these are all going to be findable whiskeys that I just thoroughly enjoy. If I had to pick a category where I could only drink one category for the rest of my life, it would probably be the Sipper. But yeah, first option on that list is going to be a Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof product. The rye is here because we're coming up on fall, or fall's already here. And this may be my favorite shelf-stable product on the market. I love Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof ryes. I love Jack Daniel's Barrel Proofs, but the ryes are nearly unbeatable in blinds, and are probably like I said, my favorite shelf-stable product. I would highly recommend them to anyone who is, interested in higher proof ryes, rye in general, high proof whiskey in general. But yeah, so this is going to be one of my options. My next one is going to be Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This is probably the weakest in this category for me. I had a few other bottles that I really, kind of thought about putting in here. But I wanted to put something that was steady on the shelf that you find anytime. This one is C922, but, you could find C924 anywhere in New Jersey. The A125 is out there. You could find a barrel proof Elijah Craig pretty much anytime. And they're always good. Even the batches that you hear are terrible, they're going to be good. They're not terrible. They're just not as great batches. But occasionally you'll find an absolute banger and it'll be the best whiskey you've ever had. So great chance to, find one of those while still getting great whiskey. Last one for this is going to be Barrel Seagrass. This is a personal favorite of mine. I love all barrel products, but for me, especially summertime, I'm reaching for a Barrel Seagrass to sip on and just enjoy thoroughly. I love finished whiskeys. I love high proof whiskeys. I love rum finished. I love rum. Not love rum, but I enjoy rum. And this kind of hits all those markers for me. I love tropical, hits it. Barrel Seagrass is fantastic. This is kind of a place marker for anything high proof finished though, because I love anything high proof and finished. All right. The last one is going to be the special occasion. You all know what that is. My special occasion bottle is going to be a bottle that once it's gone, it's gone. I'm not going to get another one. It's a bottle that I'm probably sharing on a special day with somebody special. It's going to be a moment that I care about, and that's the reason why I'm bringing that whiskey out. Probably not going to sip on these on my own. Maybe I will. Who knows? But yeah, it's about the moment more than it is about the whiskey. But you want the best whiskey in your collection to enhance that moment, if that makes sense. And the first one is going to be the Tater. And so that Tater is going to be Thomas H. Handy. This is going to be my only rye whiskey in this category that I have for special occasion. And why not have the best rye whiskey on the planet, arguably, for your special occasion whiskey. This is also my only BTAC bottle. But I thought about putting in, I do have a RIP 10 I thought about putting in here, but I didn't. I enjoy higher proof a little bit more. I enjoy rye quite a bit. And I think for Christmas especially, this is a perfect bottle. My next one that I have in here is going to be any Wild Turkey LE. I love Wild Turkey. I love Russell's. I love Russell's LEs, Wild Turkey LEs, whatever. They're all fantastic to me. And this specifically, this single Rickhouse, this is Camp Nelson F, blew my mind the first time I had it. I had it in a bar in Philly and couldn't believe what I was tasting and needed to have a bottle. It's the most I've ever spent on a bottle. But to me, this one was worth it. I wasn't able to get my hand on the 15. I have quite a few 13s. Pick any of them that you might want to do. Masters keeps would fit here, whatever. Wild Turkey LEs are some of the best whiskey on the planet, in my opinion. So put any of those in this spot. I would choose that as a special occasion bottle. And, my last special occasion bottle is going to be here because of the rarity of it and also because I love Barrel. It's going to be the Barrel 20-year toasted. This is one of 160 bottles. It's 20 years old. It's unlike any whiskey I've ever had. You can see I barely drank any of it, and that's for all of these. I barely drank any. I savor them. It's like I said, it's about the moment. Open them up to try them out, see how they're doing, and then I put them away, and I don't touch them. That's a problem of mine. I tend to drink whiskeys that I don't really care about too often, more than I do the ones that I love. But these are all the ones that I love the most and that I would love to share with the people I love in those special moments. So This is going to be my special occasion bottle collection here, the ones that I would choose for my special occasion bottle. Let me know in the comments what you would choose as your special occasion bottle, or your mixer, or your everyday drinker, whatever it may be. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Cheers.